I just ran up and down the stairs to get all my equipment to film this video. So I'm a little winded. Hey friends, oh my word, it has been so long since I have posted here. Thank you to everyone who is still subscribed. I know that it has been so long, a year. It has literally been a year since I have posted here on this channel. I am so sorry. But I have a reason why I was not here. If you were following over on Instagram or over on my Heidi Sambal DIY channel, you'll know that 2022 was not my favorite year, to say the least. Pretty much it felt like everything was going wrong and there was just a lot of trials and adversity that our family was going through at the time. Before I go into that update on our life and everything that was going on, I wanted to just show you the home we sold, the one that you all have come to know here on this channel. It was so bittersweet. We were so grateful and so excited to move into our new home, which is where I'm standing right now, by the way. I'm standing in my new craft room. Oh, if you want to see that tour, I'll link it down below because I posted it over my craft channel just a couple days ago. So if you want to see that video, you can watch it linked. I'll link it at the end of this video too. Anyway, that's where I'm standing now. We have officially been in this home for 1 year because we purchased it December 27th of 2021. So a lot of stuff happened between the time that we purchased this home to when we actually got it on the market and sold it. We sold the house in July at the end of the month, and I thought I would just give you the fun, up-to-date what the house looked like when we listed it. The photos were so beautiful. Oh my word. All the hard work and love and energy we put into that house for 6 years paid off. I won't go around recommending purchasing a fixer-upper if you do not like DIY homes. Because, oh man, it was so much work. Like really, truly, honestly. There were never really downtime for our family because every single time I felt like we had a holiday or time off or the summer, that's when I was trying to utilize as much time as I possibly could for us to fix up that home. And we did get to do fun things like going to the pool, but we really didn't travel anywhere and we really didn't do a lot of big things. So this is my raw, honest opinion. Having a fixer-upper, if you do it by trade, oh my word, you're a magician. But we weren't home flippers. If you remember at the very beginning of this channel when I started it, we lived in apartments for the first 15 years of our marriage. And then we decided to leave California because my husband got a job offer in Missouri. We came to Missouri and we were here for about 6 months and then found that home that we purchased. So the before was pretty rough, to say the least. It was very 1960s. I called it the Brady Bunch house a lot because the kitchen literally had orange counters. The wall paint was a pistachio green and the cupboards were dark brown, just like the Brady Bunch kitchen. It was totally nostalgia for me when I walked in and I was like, this is it. This is the house we're gonna buy. My husband at the time thought I was a little crazy because in my head I could just see what its potential was. And he was such a good sport. He went along with it. And over time, we got it to look like how it looked when we listed it. It's kind of bittersweet again to, you know, put a house on a market when it looks fresh and brand new, because the people that bought it and moved into it will never know all the hard blood, sweat, and tears that went into that home. But it was such a blessing to be able to sell it, and we were so grateful to be able to say goodbye. So we did get asking price for the home, and we are now in this home and we love it so much. Now for the life update. Oh my word. Friends, I know I was not the only one who did not like 2022, but I really did not enjoy 2022. So we purchased the home on December 27th of 2021. And right around the end of January, coming into the new year of 2022, I caught that thing for the third time. The third time. The first time I caught it was in January 2020 when everybody was catching it. The second time I caught it was when my daughter went to kindergarten in August of 2021, and then January. Like, what was that? I don't know, 5 months later, something like that, I ended up catching it again. And the third time I caught it, it really just did a doozy on me. It really caused a lot of issues with my lungs, and it also caused me to become iron deficient in a way that I have never experienced it before. So I started going to doctors and urgent care and trying to get better, and I was not getting better. And antibiotics that were being given to me kept causing all kinds of side effects because I'm really sensitive to medicine. And it was right around March, the end of March, I was talking to my dad on the phone, and I was telling my dad how I am craving to eat ice, a ridiculous amount of ice. Like, I don't even want to eat food. I couldn't taste food anymore, but I wanted ice. And my dad, being a very holistic person, said, Heidi, that is an iron deficiency issue. And it's not that I didn't want to heed my dad's counsel. It's that I just didn't absorb it at the time. And then a week later, about a week later, maybe almost 2 weeks later, my dad ended up having 3 strokes back to back, which was a complete shock to my entire family because my dad walks 4 to 5 miles like every day, Monday through Saturday. So for him to have a stroke was just not my favorite experience. And so at the time, my parents were living in California, and they had been in that home for 51 years. And after a lot of thought and prayer and conversations, my mom decided to move closer here to where my sister and I lived in Missouri so that we can help her and my dad, because my dad, he ended up losing the ability to speak. And so with a lot of therapy over the year of 2022, I'm so proud of my dad. He has been working his way back to being able to speak, and it's such a treat having little words be able to come out here and there and understanding again the things that he's trying to communicate. So my heart goes out to anyone who has had a loved one who has had a stroke, because, oh my word, it is a very hard trial. And I'm sorry, I wasn't gonna cry. It was hard watching what my mom and my dad had to go through. So they moved, sorry, I just gonna compose myself for a second. They moved from California to Missouri in the month of June. So in that time I was still really sick, and we still had put the house on the market that we were gonna be selling, and we needed to get projects done. So every time we had a free moment when I wasn't feeling just horrible, we would be over at the house or over at my parents', constantly working on the house or their house, getting them settled and getting everybody where they needed to be. And that was really exhausting. So the house ended up selling in July, and that's when my brother and his family, what a blessing, they decided to come and live here too, to help everyone balance out and just being there for my parents. And we have other siblings that are still wanting to work on moving this way too, to be closer to my mom and dad, or they fly into town a lot to come and help and visit and make sure everything's going good with them. But so right around that time in July, my brother moved here, and I wasn't even posting over on my DIY channel. Like, everybody was saying, where did I go? And I kept saying, I'm over on Instagram, because that was the quickest way for me to give updates of what was going on. Anyway, it was about the beginning of August. We were starting the new school semester, and one day I was inside of Costco grocery shopping, and I was pushing the shopping cart, and I just couldn't push the cart. Like, my energy level was shot. And remember back in March when my dad said, hey, that's an iron deficiency problem. Well, I was in Costco and I was texting my husband and I was telling him, I can barely even walk. Like, I'm so dizzy. I feel so nauseous. And keep in mind, all these past couple of months, I had been feeling that way too because of the iron issue problem. And it was when I was in Costco when I finally thought those words that my dad told me, it came back to me. I'm going to say it was God. I'm going to say it was the Spirit that reminded me those words, that I heard my dad's voice, which was such a gift because at that time, my dad wasn't really talking. So I heard his voice in my head, Heidi, you have an iron deficiency problem. So that very next day, I went to go get blood work done as quick as I could. And that took time to figure out too because, well, it wasn't really the next day. It was probably like 2 weeks later when a doctor could get me in. But I was like on the phone trying to get appointments to get into the doctors. So I get into the doctors, they do my blood work, and my doctor's like, oh my word, your blood count for iron is extremely low. And on top of it, your blood is just riddled with that thing. Like, you definitely have a high count. You look like you're active right now with having it. Like, just recently caught it going through the symptoms, like with how bad it was in my system. And so she's like, no wonder why you feel terrible. So that started a whole process of trying to find the right things to boost my iron. And after a couple of months of putting in that work, my iron levels finally started to go back up. I stopped feeling nauseous. I still crave ice, but my sense of taste and sense of smell are all starting to come back. In fact, around Christmas time, we had decorated gingerbread houses, and this one morning I got up and no one was up, and I walked into the kitchen and I smelled the gingerbread house frosting. Like, it was the sweetest smell I had smelled in a year. I had not been able to smell anything like that for an entire year. So it was pretty amazing to be able to smell that and be able to experience that. It was a sweet little gift, I think, that I got that day. Anyway, so the point is that, oh my word, there were so many other things going on that year. My oldest graduated from high school. My son Calvin, who's in the middle, he was having a really hard transition from middle school to high school in that school year, and just getting the right team to work with his special needs that he has from having Asperger's. There was just a lot. There was a lot going on. My daughter started kindergarten and we were dealing with all of that. Friends, I don't know how your 2022 went, but for me, it was not great. So I was really excited to ring in the new year as a family without that year being in front of me anymore, like to put it behind me and to move on. I am definitely at the height of my weight I have ever been at because I couldn't exercise. So there's that. And you know, standing in front of a camera is really hard, honestly, when you are at those weights, because I sit there and I edit these videos and my word, I compare it to other videos when I wasn't at this weight. So just know that life is such a gift. I am so grateful that despite how hard that year was, I am so grateful for all the many blessings and tender mercies we did have. Being able to purchase this home, selling our other home, my dad being able to speak again, my dad's voice coming to me when I didn't know what to do because I was so brutally just, oh my word, so sick. And then, you know, those little moments of watching my oldest graduate from high school. He worked so hard. He worked so hard to get finished with high school and graduate. I'm so proud of him. Just so many things that life is a gift. Even in those hard moments, life is a gift. So I guess that's kind of my message of this video, is that I just want you all to know that even in those hard moments, God never leaves us. I felt his tender hand the entire time. Even when I felt so frustrated and so mad, but my lungs just weren't recovering, I felt him with me the whole time. And I'm so grateful to know that we are not here alone, and that, my word, he loves us so much. And we just have to look for those little clues, you know? We have to look for those little clues where he's trying to guide us and teach us and help us stretch and grow. Anyway, friends, I am so sorry I'm so emotional in this video. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get by without crying or feeling like I was about to cry, because I'm talking about a year that I did not enjoy. So in the next video, I'm going to be sharing a whole tour. Well, I'm going to be showing the listing of the house, the pictures of what it looked like before, because keep in mind, we've been in this home for 1 year. So we've done a lot of things, worked on projects here in that amount of time, and I want to show you what it looked like in its rawness before we started working on it. Thank you so much for watching this video and being patient through my very long story. I am so grateful for all of you. I cannot wait to post the fun things I want to post here, share this house and the transformation it's getting ready to go through, because this house is very builder grade. It is not as rough as the other house, but it definitely needs personality, and I am here to give it some. Thank you so much for being my friend. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And that's it. Until the next episode. Bye, friends.